This is the iPhone 17, and if any of you are thinking of upgrading right now, this has to be the phone that you've got to consider first before anything else. All right, so in this review, we are gonna talk about everything the new iPhone 17 brings to the table, and really, Apple is up their game where this is gonna be hard for me to not recommend to anyone who's looking to review, and what a coincidence. I'm wearing purple and this is purple. If you look at the design, this looks very much like the iPhone 16. The new improvements, you now get a 6.3-inch display that is up from the 6.1 from last year's generation. This display also, the biggest thing, ProMotion, 120 hertz refresh rate, supports always on display, goes all the way down to 1 hertz. Look, we have been complaining and ripping on Apple for years for them to exclude this from the entry-level phone. I guess we can't do it anymore, and that's also why it has really elevated this phone. On top of that, you get 3000 nits peak brightness. That's what you're gonna see on all the other phones as well. So from a display standpoint, you're getting a display that matches the top tier phones. This also has Apple's new Ceramic Shield 2 coating. What that does, 3 times the scratch resistance, dings and nicks, it's more protective there. And of course, yes, you have its aluminum body, very familiar. Like I said, the design hasn't really changed. You see the 2 cameras here, we'll talk about that, but it comes in purple, mist blue, sage, black, and white. Now let's talk about the chip inside here. This has an A19 chip. This is based on the next generation 3nm technology, so that's better performance, better power efficiency. That's a 6-core CPU, a 5-core GPU, and then internally also a 16-core neural engine to support all of those Apple Intelligence features that exist now and will be coming in the future when they get to that. But from a performance standpoint, playing games, using this, the speed, right? You have the 120 hertz refresh rate. This really does and can take care of 99% of everything that you need to do versus someone who wants to just take that next step up to the Pro. This is a completely capable phone. Don't think of this as the base model iPhone that it's kind of compromised. This is the phone that I would tell everyone to look at first. Why also is this good? Let's talk about the battery. The battery's now been optimized 8 hours more than the previous iPhone 16. So you're getting 30 hours of video playback on this phone. You also have faster wireless charging, so 0 to 50% in 20 minutes. Also, hey, you want a quick charge? 10 minutes gets you 8 hours of video playback. So they've also optimized this in ways where I don't feel like this is getting compromised that much. Let's talk about the cameras here on the back. You have a 48 megapixel Fusion wide camera. You also have a 48 megapixel ultra wide camera. Now you've seen the reviews we've had on this channel. What stops me from just going all in on the iPhone Air? The ultra wide camera. This has all the cameras that most of you need. You can do a zoom, you can digitally zoom. Yes, it doesn't have a true telephoto camera on here, but that's okay. This does everything you need it to do. But the cameras, we went out to Americana in Glendale and took some photos just to give you some samples of the quality of the pictures, the quality of the video here, and it does look great. I mean, you're not missing a thing.
I'm about to drive in. Oh my God.
The other thing that we want to talk about here is the front-facing camera. This is their center stage camera, 18 megapixels. Remember the square sensor, which allows you to hold it out. If someone comes in frame with you, it automatically readjusts whether it's the standard camera or it goes wide, or if there's multiple people, it incorporates that and turns landscape, all without you having to turn your camera physically side to side. It is the killer feature, I think, of this entire launch from the entire iPhone 17 lineup, from here to the Air and to the Pro. But again, the camera system, yeah, if I decide to go and get the Air as my main, I'm actually jealous of this camera system. So when you're looking at this phone and you're considering it, if you're probably watching this and if you've thought about the base model iPhone in a certain way, you're saying, wow, Brian, This sounds like it checks all the boxes, which I used to kind of overlook in the past. It does, really. If you want the triple lens camera system, right? If you want that pro performance, which most of you will not be really fully exploiting, and if you're a pro that wants to use ProRes RAW footage on your phone, or you need a phone that has 2 terabytes of storage, then yes, by all means, go for the Pro. I think over the past few years, a lot of people have just immediately looked at the Pro as the standard, but I think we need to recalibrate that and look at what the 17 has to offer. This is a great phone. It starts at $799. That's 256 gigs of storage. Think about this. You go up to $999 for 512 gigs of storage, and then if you want to get an iPhone 17 Pro that starts at $1,099 with 256 gigs of storage with features you may not use, again, let's rethink this. You've got to look at the iPhone 17. In fact, I don't know if you saw earlier, back in May, my mom went to upgrade her iPhone. We went out to the Apple store in Cupertino at the visitor center. And look, I'm gonna take care of my mama when I can. If I knew what I knew today, Mama Tong, I love you, Mama, you would not be getting a iPhone 16 Pro with 512 gigs of storage. You can look at the price of that. I'm not gonna talk about it here. This 512 gigs of storage, everything my mom needs, $999. Come on now. So look, am I speaking highly about the iPhone 17? I think this has become not only like a staple of the iPhone lineup, but this is arguably Apple's most compelling iPhone lineup in a long time, because you have a base model that checks off all the boxes. You have a middle tier model in the iPhone Air that is like the high-end concept design, which makes some sacrifices, but it gives you another option to think about. And it's such a great option that a lot of people are debating, do I go Pro? Do I go Air? And at the same time, most of those people are probably fine just getting the iPhone 17, but Apple's given us a variety of choices, and I really like the diversity of the lineup, and we'll see how it all comes together. But if there is one phone, I said this from the beginning, that I would recommend to every single person that is looking to upgrade, whether you're on an iPhone 6 or 7 or 8 or 10, like I'm talking about those of you that have been holding on for a long time and holding out, this is the phone that you have to seriously consider, and I can't say anything better than that. Like, this is just a great phone.